What's up, y'all? It's TC. TCC here, man. I'm gonna call this video Subwoofer Cramming. Why in your right mind would you wanna go against the manufacturer's spec? You know what I'm saying? It's like the Kicker Comp Q15s. I know for a fact one of them can fit in what, a 6 cube box. So if you got a sedan and Fred big, they big on the trucks, but just 210s for example, that should be the standard. Single 12 should be the standard. You got some subs that got a boutique, you know what I'm saying, working small boxes, B2, Euphoria, DC Audio, especially Wade Tech. But no, man, I want to run 212s, 312s. I want to run, man, I had 315s, 215s, 218s in a sedan. Where you get that logic from? Where you get that logic from? Just what? If the specs say 3.5, 3.0 to 6 cubes, you know you're gonna be at the minimum, right? You do know that, right? So 2 of them, 3 or 4 of them is getting worse and worse. How can your sub breathe? How can you really expect it to perform? And it's beating, it sound good, man. They hit me around the club. I pull up, yeah. For how long? Someone come through with a Tahoe or somebody come through with a Suburban, no big body or truck, put that sub in the rear enclosed, let's just say one on, you gonna feel some type of way? So, I can throw more power, cram more power. That shit, that's the most idiotic shit I ever heard. I give it to you seal if you run the seal. You know what I'm saying? They can take more power, but still be within, you know, manufacturer recommended spec. You still got to be within that. I'm gonna tell y'all a story, man. I had two goddamn, somehow flew up in there. I had 2 goddamn Wolfram 15s. I think they need what, 3.5 a piece, 4.0 a piece. You know what I'm saying? Just manufacturer spec, tune it to 34 hertz. I had 2 of them seeing. Loved it, sound phenomenal. Got me a custom enclosure. The definition and the way it hit, it just sounded more solid. I don't know if it was just the type of wood. Come to find out, it was MDF, so it's only gonna do that for so long. Solid oak and up, red cherry. You gotta go up. Do not get MDF. Only do MDF if you're in the home environment. You're not susceptible to moisture, rain. Your car ain't sealed or whatever. The moisture accumulating. It rain, that's accumulating. You don't want MDF in your vehicle. But back to what I was saying, you know what I'm saying? I had ran that ported at one point in time. I thought I had, you know, 7.7 net. Come to find out I had 7.7 gross. So when I did the dimension, I had, you know, two or three guys, even Fred had looked at it before. You probably looking at roughly 5.5 cubes. That's too small for ported the way it's supposed to perform. Now, don't get me wrong, when I first got it or whatever, the power I had, let me see what setup did I have. 2 North Star batteries, you know what I'm saying, grounded to the body of the car in the trunk, you know what I'm saying. OFC, 1 gauge, 0 gauge coming up off the battery, 100% pure copper by DB Drive. The amp was still, the alternator was still stock. But I had the batteries. Yeah, and I didn't even have a big 3. So that right there and probably amplifier was doing all the work. So me sitting and tuning that amp, y'all, I don't know if it couldn't see the power, but just watching the clip or letting the amp do all the work. At one point in time, I was able to get that Def Bunch 2800.1 up to 70 AC volts. I think that was what? Cause the Wolfram What I had by anyway. I think I had the silver. Yeah, 1250 RMS. So 2000 was his sweet spot. You know what I'm saying? 2500 was max. So I had it on my radio. I had the amp set. Subwoofer -3 or -2 was my RMS. -1 was my sweet spot, 2000 on both subs. 0 or -1, I can't remember how I had it set, was 7,000 watts. Come to find out, I was probably only getting 2,800 watts. I was able to play for roughly 35 to 45 minutes. I remember getting my guys at where I used to get my hair cut, gave them a demo. I was out there for 45 minutes. Trunk waving, trunk sounding crazy. They love the way it's saying. Once I had maxed that radio out and turned the subwoofer up more than they can go, I said, let me just see, if it'll last or if I start smelling something or whatever. They loved it. Where I work at, 15 to 20 or 30 minutes. Obviously let my car run the way I commute to work. So I let it run the way I make sure it's charging up before I had got the Nico battery charge or whatever. But about a 30 to 45 minute drive, I'm finna let it charge. I go on break for the first 15 to 10 minutes, I'm finna let it charge. I don't just hop in my car or vehicle, straight radio. Now what I got now, lithium, once this voltage sets in, you know what I'm saying, even though I gotta get my alternator fixed, but I got a big 3, grounded down to the frame and the body, Raptor wire, new Concepts wire and T-Spec wire. I hop in and let it give it a go now, but I gotta still make sure my voltage is correct. Once I big 3'd my vehicle, y'all, put the alternator in and got those Titan 8 batteries, something drastically changed. Instantly changed. I remember turning my radio halfway or whatever, just looking at the sub box. I had the sub playing. The subs were moving the box. It wasn't sitting still like it used to. Heavy as it wasn't sitting still. I said, man, it's the box flexing, the box moving. I got the trunk open for one. I'm only on volume 13 or 12, no more than 14 out of 25 or 26 how I had to set. I'm like, man, the one thing I did notice, I couldn't play my favorite songs or just new release songs or just going through each songs that I'm normally accustomed to. 15 to no more than 20 minutes. The tone of quality of my bass will just change. I never smelled anything. Playing on it for too long because I was trying to chase and see what it was because I wasn't doing it before, I started smelling something. So the amp really started seeing that power. The power really started shooting through those wires, started getting through the subs. So I instantly had to put them in the optimum box. The more I gave it thought, you know what I'm saying, put them in the optimum box. Downgrade to 1, you know what I'm saying, because I just figure out how the cubes and the port area and all that work. Downgrade to smaller subs, 212s, 210s. You know what I'm saying? Some just had to change. That's how I ended up with this fight. So, with that same logic, y'all, I think Vincent doing 165, 168, 3 or 4 15s. Alexander Harris, 150 with 112. Slim with the Death Bus amp. I think he got the Adam series. He might got the old series I got. He ain't even getting the amp to full power. I don't know if he can't right now, you know what I'm saying, but he still pull up to a competition, you know what I'm saying. He got the pride, you know what I'm saying, the pride for a car audio show, he gonna show off his equipment, you know what I'm saying. He love the bass or whatever. But I think just 4,500 watts on 318s. I can't remember the score. But y'all see what that's doing in the power name now. The box doing 70 to 85% of the work. I'm gonna say 70 because your electrical and the amp, the signal, your setup, your foundation, all they gotta play a factor too. Only one I can say really y'all doing that for real, like when it comes to cramming subs in a space like that, a vehicle like that, is Heath. You know what I'm saying? I know Heath, kind of on the, Fred know him more personally, but on the car audio mode, we got to, know what I'm saying, good relationship, when I chop it up with him, see him from time to time, especially when he was at the shop, Force Performance and Audio. But he had 3 or 4 Sundown Audio 15s I respect it, because he just didn't cram them in this vehicle. It's a fourth order. It's a sixth order, so it made sense. I remember how his vehicle looked before that got in there. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So when he did put it in okay, this is a fourth order. Okay, this different. This a different level. When I first met him at the show, I don't know what he's doing now. I think he did a 155 or 156. I just can't remember the frequency though. But that's not too far off from what other guys are doing, because I call that smash mouth bass. That smash mouth bass. Intense pressure right there. D-line versus O-line, smash mouth. In the trenches. That's that type of bass. So it's an enclosure, true enough, but a true enclosure, not saying it's not a true enclosure, but I'm just saying like horn, seal, ported, these enclosures will get pretty massive. If I ever reach that point, y'all, because I think EXO reached that point, you know what I'm saying, he liking it or whatever, I'll go IB. That's just me personally. Like I go IB in the old school, I go IB if it was me. I don't know, man. It's just my thoughts, just tapping in with y'all on this early, Saturday morning. I ain't with, once you find out how stuff works and you just start to think back, like have you really been hearing the true performance of your car audio system, especially the sub, it just make you just think about stuff different. Once you figure out how it works, hell no, that ain't fitting in there. Your system, it ain't talking about nothing. Y'all let me know, man. I'm out.